Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3595. Today's date is September 17, 2025. It's been almost like a morning at 8:01 a.m. Alright, let's just go into the what if question. Okay. First of all, why am I asking this what if question? What if question is something that it is unlock a new possibility. Okay, yeah. Like I'm asking multiple questions to myself in the previous artifact episode, and each question is kind of like a simply unlock new potential. But what if questions are very different? Okay, yeah. It challenge our kind of like a knowledge and things like that. Because if you are try to give the answer regarding about what if, then probably the answer would be depend upon how much knowledge that you have, and then you construct the detail. This is what it is. Example is this thing that ki, if I'm gonna say what if like what if kind of like I would fly. Okay, what if I would fly? So probably is this thing that we would kind of like suddenly create multiple possibility that ki what happened that if we could fly and things like that, what kind of like a suddenly new world that we were gonna live, that everyone will gonna fly and things like that, and that unlock new possibility and thought process, which is something really new and something like that ki it's a very creative way. And I think that now asking this question to myself is a something that improving the whatever the knowledge or information that I have and utilize for gaining more and looking at very different perspective. So that's why I'm decided that let's ask what if questions. Okay. Now today actually asking the what if question is that it's a very scientific perspective. Okay, yeah. The question is, what if we could harness dark matter for everyday energy? Oh yeah. By the way, dark matter is a little bit of kind of like a only scientific term. Let me clarify what is actually dark matter. By the way, dark matter or dark energy, you probably heard somewhere in the movies or any kind of like a something is this thing. Okay, so let me give you what is exactly that. Okay, so can you imagine space? Imagine a space. Yeah. You actually imagine you could see Earth, you could see Moon, you could see sunlight, you could see Sun, you could see multiple planets. Right? Now, besides that, you actually seen little bit of black. Okay, yeah. That is called dark energy or dark matter. What do you mean by that? Okay, yeah. It means that na ki like basically at the moment means like till the 2025, at this moment we don't know what is exactly dark energy or we don't know what is exactly dark matter. Wait up. Right. uh, I don't know. You actually, I take a lot of time to pause. I actually, oh yeah, I just, all right. Okay, what is actually my question? Okay, let me understand first question. What is actually that? Okay, question is, what if we could harness the dark matter for everyday energy? Okay, so let me give you what is actually meaning of dark matter. Okay, dark matter, like as I mentioned, it's a kind of like a only black that you think on space. When you imagine a space, you actually kind of like a seen multiple planets and stars and things like that, and all those things are actually surrounded by black space. Okay, yeah. We thought that ki, there is nothing at all. Like basically, if I'm gonna say that ki, the distance between moon and earth, there is a complete darkness and there is nothing really at all, like it's a complete vacuum and stuff like that. That is not true. Okay, yeah. Because if I'm gonna say that ki that there is a something is not exist, that is not possible in the universe, because there is something gonna be exist over there, and we don't know what is exactly that. Yeah, till this now, till the 2025, we don't really have any kind of like a information regarding about dark matter or dark energy. Then if we don't really have any kind of like a information or anything about this thing, then why do we call it as a dark matter or dark energy? Visual point of perspective, it's a black, so probably it's a dark, and it's a matter. Why does it we call matter? Matter means like that ki we actually made of matter. Okay, yeah, we actually made of bunch of millions and billions and trillions of atoms and things and that which create matter. Okay, yeah. uh this is also kind of like a simply matter that we don't know. That's why we don't know means dark, and matter means matter, so dark matter. And why do we call it the dark energy? It's a kind of like a something, a form little bit of energy, but it's kind of like a something we feel it, but we don't know what exactly that. Now, what is actually the energy? Uh, it's like that na ki it's a very hard to explain, because at the time we don't really have any information regarding about this particular subject. Okay, yeah. Energy means like that ki have you seen, like have you imagined the planet which is actually far away from each other? The star system is actually center, the entire solar system is actually revolve around them. How this thing is actually happened? Mostly because of gravity, right? Because we have a gravity, stars and other planets do have that gravity. Bigger gravity means like that ki multiple planets actually revolve around them, right? Yeah. So it's because of gravity, right? Well, yeah, it is a gravity, but what is exactly the gravity? Okay, yeah. We don't know that, na. We don't know what is exactly the gravity. Which it's like it's very hard to explain. The energy, what is really dark energy means like that ki whatever that we are actually seeing in the universe, stars, planet and things like that, they are kind of like a doing their normal thing, and we don't know how they do that. There is some sort of energy is actually impact on them, so that's why it kind of like a doing it that. So there is a lot of kind of like a something things that we don't know, and it kind of like a gives you or kind of like a something provide you that kind of like a some energy. So that's why we don't know about that energy, so that's why we call it as a dark energy or dark matter. Okay, now let me give you the perspective. If you are really astrophysics, or if you are really understanding, if you are really curious about astrophysics, if you love stars, universe, planets and things and that, let me give you the context. Okay, yeah. Whatever the universe that you are kind of like a somebody imagine, okay, yeah, or whatever the universe that is exactly exist, we have a picture about universe we call cosmic background, CMBR, cosmic background universe, something like that, cosmic background, something like that. So it's a kind of like a sort of picture of universe. Okay, yeah. But the picture that we are actually seeing, the universe that we are actually seeing, is like is our limit to see that universe. Means universe is actually far ahead that we don't know, but this is kind of like something we can see. Okay, if you still it's kind of like overwhelming, let me give you context. Okay, let me understand in simple format. Like basically I'm really kind of like a nerd regarding about astrophysics, so I just love to talk about those stuff. Alright, yeah. Can you imagine earth? Okay, yeah. Can you imagine moon? Can you imagine solar system? Right? Now beyond our solar system, we actually zoom out and we actually see our Milky Way galaxy. Okay, yeah. If we zoom out again, we actually see Andromeda galaxy, which is our neighboring galaxy. Okay, yeah. If we zoom out again, that's it. Like we just know about that. Okay, yeah. But in scientific point of perspective, we have kind of like a simply kind of like an address. Okay, yeah. Andromeda galaxy, Milky Way galaxy is a car. It's called as a local group. Okay, yeah. Local group means like that. Kind of like a some similar kind of like some galaxies actually exist around you, around our galaxy, and we call that kind of like a kind of like some galaxy as a local group. Okay, yeah. In that local group, it has maybe, I'm not really sure, maybe thousand of galaxies in that particular local group. I'm not really sure the number. Okay, yeah, but this is called local number. Okay, local group. Sorry, local group. And if we zoom out again, okay, yeah, then we actually see billions of local group. In the billions, we're gonna see trillions of galaxies, and in the trillions of galaxies, stars and planets. The number is actually far, far. So universe that you are kind of like somebody imagine is far much bigger than that. Okay, and humans already have always have kind of like a curiosity that what if beyond that, what if beyond this, like is there any kind of like a something, the universe has kind of like a limit or things like that, or what is actually beyond our universe? We don't know that, because as I mentioned, universe is actually far much bigger than your imagination. Like literally, I could imagine anything, but in this particular topic, I cannot imagine because my imagination doesn't really have any knowledge. We don't know what is actually that. So this is much bigger. Universe is actually much bigger. Okay, yeah. Now, if you kind of like see that particular universe, you actually see particular dots considered as a kind of like a stars and planets and kind of like a something the galaxies or things like that. But there is a black thing that is called dark matter or dark energy. In our entire universe, almost like a 95 or 90% is actually consumed by the stars and planets, or we call it as a matter. Okay, yeah, 90%. And sorry 10%, sorry 10% is actually consumed by the planets and stars and whatever the we could actually see. It's only 10%. The 90% is that black thing. It's called dark matter or dark energy. So do you get it? So whatever it is, that dark matter or dark energy, it's a kind of like a building blocks for our universe, but we don't know that what is actually that, or what is actually this, or is it building blocks is a kind of like some really right word to kind of like explain. I'm not really sure, because as I mentioned, there is no information that we have, nothing. There is like this particular topic is no one is actually invented this thing, because it's, yeah. So because of this dark matter or dark energy, it's we don't know what is actually that, and we actually understand the magnitude of this dark matter or dark energy. So we actually create kind of like a something speculation. Okay, speculation means like that ki we actually think that ki dark matter would be like a really very destructive or very very big regarding about whatever big it is. Okay, yeah. So in the lot of movies, they actually kind of like a shown them dark matter is a kind of like a something bomb, or a kind of like a something the element that can do this or do that, or it is that. Okay, yeah. So basically what exactly is this thing regarding about this question? Let me give you context. The question actually says that what if we could harness the dark matter for everyday energy? It's kind of like this question is actually constructed is because of we actually created this speculation regarding about this dark matter or dark energy. Okay, so that's why we thought that कि there is a lot of immense energy might be available into this dark matter or dark energy. Okay, now there is a one couple of things is actually proved, and I'm not really sure am I explaining this thing or not, but let me give you. Okay, so as I mentioned, matter means like that ki you, me, planet, star, everything is actually created by matter, created by the atom, created by the nucleus, proton, electron in that thing. Okay, yeah. And basically dark matter is called kind of like a something called as a antimatter, because we don't know that, but there is a one thing we for sure, it's not matter. Okay, yeah. Like what is actually matter? A matter means like that ki it could react, it could kind of like a something, it could show the evidence of their existence. The light photon, the kind of like a something, the proton, electron, these are kind of like a something show their evidence of existence. Okay, they emit little bit of properties or things or that. So we call them as a kind of like a something a matter, because it shows the evidence of existence. Okay, yeah. But dark matter doesn't really show the evidence of existence. But does it means it not exist? No, it is exist, but we don't know that. Okay, we don't know that. So it is actually exist. So we have matter and we have antimatter. Okay, like basically antimatter means like whatever it is might be not matter or antimatter. Okay, yeah. So in the past history or in the scientific point of perspective, when we collide positive or negative, we actually create some sort of energy or things like that. And it happened with the electricity, it happened with everything. Okay, yeah. So maybe if we collide the matter and dark matter together, might be, I'm not really sure, might be we gonna create energy, and that energy would be so immense, so crazy or so big that nuclear bomb would look like kind of like a somebody just a just a very very tiny thing, very like, yeah. So this is what kind of like a something the energy that we might think that we're gonna get from this dark matter or dark energy, which is really crazy, really crazy. Okay, yeah. By the way, it is only just a speculation. Okay, yeah. Why it's speculation? Because we know matter, but we are not really sure regarding about dark matter, how not have matter or antimatter or things. We don't know that what exactly that. Okay, it's a kind of like a things that he try to understand such a thing which is not exist or not, like we don't know that exist or not, or kind of like a somebody drawing a picture of ghost. Okay, yeah. We actually kind of like a draw the picture of ghost until we unless know what is actually ghost look like. If we don't know what is actually ghost look like, how do we supposed to draw that picture, right? So this is what it is, we just don't know, we just kind of like a create the speculation about things and that and that and that. All right. And because of this speculation, that's why this question is actually created. What if we could harness that dark matter energy into our everyday life? Then what would be that? Well, first of all, is that the energy that if we kind of like harness the energy from dark matter or this dark thing, can we use this thing for everyday life? Well, still we don't know that. Okay, because let me tell you, it's we don't know nothing about that. Okay, yeah. Because it just it is it is like basically is this thing na ki in this particular point, whatever I'm gonna talk, all those things are imaginary and speculations and things and that. because we don't know nothing about that. So probably is this thing, it just okay. By the way, we actually know Higgs boson particle. Okay, Higgs boson field. Okay, what is actually Higgs boson field? Okay, um, Higgs boson is a kind of like a something field. Okay, kind of like a something. Just imagine a kind of like a something a kind of like a cloth. Okay, a parda. Okay, and and it create mass. It add mass. Okay, so what exactly is this thing? There is a, I don't know. Okay, I'm, as I mentioned, I'm kind of like a talking about just a speculation. I'm not really sure. Okay, so there is a very thin line between us. Us means matter and antimatter. Okay, antimatter means dark matter and dark energy, and matter that we actually see, feel, electron, proton. Yeah. So there is a kind of like a something the invisible particle. Okay, invisible field, and we actually invented this thing we called as a Higgs boson particle. Okay, now Higgs boson particle or Higgs boson field or things like that. Okay, or maybe God particle. Okay, we actually kind of like name them as a God particle. You just have to Google it, you kind of like understand. Okay, let me give you what is actually this Higgs boson particle or Higgs boson field or God particle. What is exactly that? Oh yeah, so this is kind of like a thin cloth or parda or whatever it is. It gives whatever it is to a matter. Now what is actually that? Okay, um imagine there is a ghost. Okay, and there is a normal people. Ghost that we don't know, see, we can't see them, we can't see them. Okay, and we are not really sure that the ghost can see us or not. Okay, now what has actually happened, this is Higgs boson particle or whatever it is. It kind of like a gives that ghost to a kind of like a simply a body or kind of like a simply a things that they consider as a human, and then we actually seen them. It's a kind of like a simply the transformation from this kind of like a simply antimatter. It gives matter. It gives matter, and Higgs boson or Higgs boson field is actually give that thing as a matter, gives some sort of thing that called as a matter. Okay, so we actually invented this thing, we actually called it as a Higgs boson particle. At the time I'm not really sure because I just heard and I just like a news and I watched a couple of videos regarding about that. Okay, how this thing is actually happened I am also not really sure because the study is still is kind of like developing. Okay, we actually found Higgs boson particle, but we just don't know how it work and things like that. Okay, uh, so this is, do you understand na? You I'm trying to tell you as simple as possible as I can. Like basically let's just imagine as a ghost. Okay, and if they wanted to get into this real world, they actually go through that Higgs boson particle field, and Higgs boson particle field actually giving them kind of like a something a body or kind of like a something a structure that we could see and things like that. Okay, so this is what kind of like a something called as Higgs boson particle. Same thing is actually exist on the our universe, that whatever it is, dark matter or whatever it is, it kind of like a gives you mass. Okay, and that mass became kind of like a something atom, and then atom became create kind of like a something star and you and me and things like that. All right. By the way, I'm just really excited to talk about this stuff and stuff like that. Jump back to the question, how do we supposed to use our dark energy in our everyday life? Well, if we develop this particular technology, okay, we understand the dark matter or dark energy. There is a one thing for sure that we might have so much amount of energy that we can't even consume in our entire existence of life, entire existence of human life, because it is that energy. Okay, And by the way, humans are really, 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 really small as compared to consumption of energy. Like basically, we are consuming so much amount of energy. But if I'm kinding, if I'm kinding, if I'm if I'm trying to talk about there's a universal scale, then probably we are not usually that much consuming that much amount of energy. It's yeah. So what if we could kind of like a harness that kind of like a some power from antimatter and things like that? Can we supposed to be utilize that kind of like a some energy in our everyday life? Well, it's kind of like that, na ki asking this question is kind of like that ki can I steal one bucket of water from ocean? Does it kind of like impact? It's it's kind of like a let's just say there is a Pacific Ocean and you wanted to steal one bucket of water. How much it impact on Pacific Ocean? Nothing, right? Because Pacific Ocean is like far much more bigger than a small bucket. Okay. So basically is this thing, if we utilize, if we kind of like a simply uh, utilize the dark matter energy, it just kind of like a stealing one bucket of water from Pacific Ocean. That's it. Okay, yeah. And like basically if we could use like basically just like we could imagine that key, we might gonna kind of like simply build so much rockets and rockets and kind of like a Death Star and things and that and that and that, like whatever you could imagine, still is kind of like considered as a just a one bucket of water from entire Pacific Ocean. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Entire kind of like a utilization of energies kind of like situated in just one bucket of water from entire Pacific Ocean. So do you understand the the magnitude of the dark matter and dark energy? Okay, so trying to be compare regarding about whatever our utilization regarding about dark matter and dark energy and whatever is actually exists in our entire universe, is the comparison is actually far much difference. Okay, yeah. So simple story, can we use this dark matter or dark energy? Well, at the time we don't know that, we don't know anything about the dark matter or dark energy. So basically is this thing that key, if we don't know, how do I supposed to say this thing, how do and if we utilize that kind of like some energy, hypothetical situation, if we kind of like somebody understand such a kind of like a things, and if we could utilize that kind of like some energy, still it would be considered as a one bucket from entire Pacific Ocean. That's it, probably. Okay, yeah. So yeah, yeah, it will kind of like unlock our lot of potential, but still is this thing that na ki whatever the energy do we really do we really required for humans. I'm not really sure, dude. It's just like that na ki like whatever the stuff that I wanted to try to tell you, but still it's like considered as a story or speculation or just not known. As I mentioned, is that not knowing is kind of like a simply mother of creativity and speculations and thought process and things like that. And I don't want to talk about this thing because it just it's just like that. It is like that. Okay. So because of this question, I understand myself. I understand as a me, as a human, we are just a very, 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 very tiny particle in the universe. Very tiny particle. Whatever the action that we do, it does not impact on your universe because universe is actually far much bigger. Far much bigger. Yeah. Our entire existence of human lifetime is still not enough to kind of like simply add just little bit scratch in the universe. Just nothing. Okay, we are just very, very tiny. But whatever action that we do, it gonna impact on us. Okay, because we are human and whatever we're gonna do, it impact on humans life and things like that. It kind of like impact on our lifestyle, our planet or things like that. But if I'm kind of like looking at the universal level skill, then it just not. So what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, that ki whatever the life that we have, or whatever the kind of like a things that we see or stuff and stuff like that, curiosity is really essential. Curiosity is kind of like a only mother of invention and things like that. No, sorry, necessity is a mother of invention. Okay, yeah, curiosity is a kind of like a simply just a, I don't know why. Okay, yeah, but curiosity still, it kind of like a something give you reason that I want to know and stuff like that. But regarding about question, what I understand regarding about this, what exactly is this thing? Is this thing that ki I don't know what I what I understand. There is one thing I understand. We just very small person. We just very small. That's it. All right. By the way, this question is really good, really great. Okay, yeah. As I mentioned, this what if question is really good. All right, this is it. This end. I should supposed to be end here. And thank you.